Give Ample your energy. We need to create an Ample spirit bomb here.
Oh, this is tough. It has not been going well. No, he doesn't look too happy.
Ample looks like he's in trouble with his mom right now. He's just like, he looks like he just got detention. He looks like.
Well, he's definitely been grounded. He hasn't left his base.
He was being too loud in a movie theater. Yeah. And he has to be quiet, and everybody saw it.
Oh, that actually happened to me and Zerg on the bus.
Really? Isn't it funny when you get in trouble as an adult and you're like, oh, this sucks, and everybody's looking at you,
really weird.
You're like, oh, screw you guys.
Yeah.
I shouldn't care, but I do.
Bus driver came back and told us we were being too loud and to be quiet. It was like a 4-hour bus ride to Gwangju.
Yeah. The passengers are complaining.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Oops. Okay, we're going to go to Coliseum.
Yeah, a little bit surprised to see this as the map, but he might have like a very pocketed build here. I don't think you want to play just a straight macro game.
This is can lead probably. I'm talking about this map back to when. I was going to say this can lead to very turtly long games, but I guess probably not anymore with the way the game's played. Yeah,
I think it's changed quite a bit. I think we're likely to see aggression, but let's see what Ample has for us. And if Mini just screws it up, what he has for us.
Hype man Artosis.
So we got Ample in the top right, and Mini down in the bottom right. So it's a good map for things like 2K Goon. Reaver's pretty good. Obviously in the later game, if we get there, we can talk about that. But something like a 2 Factory can be very strong here as well.
Certainly. If you can hide the initial scout and then you 2 Factory, as the Protoss is modestly trying to expand, he will get run over.
Yeah, you kind of use the ledge, over the main, and you can do a prolonged push with like siege mode, maybe a bunker, obviously rallying vultures down. There's, it's normally not like, there's so many different types of 2 Facts, and this would be like one of the slower maps for it, where you take your time and push. As opposed to, there's 2 Facts where you just run into the Nexus that's in front of the main, which is most maps, right? Here it's not like that. So if you do it and you do it too fast, you might not kill a Nexus. Anyways, I don't know that that's even what he's doing. Ample is actually going to the center immediately. Are we just going to see like a center barracks?
Hope not.
That would be really weird. Okay. This is an extremely fast scout. Oh, it's maybe a command center first then.
Oh, yeah. I think you're probably right.
It could be.
Well, if it's not a barracks right now, it's that.
Well, if you're scouting that early, that was like a 9 scout. So fast. Yeah, maybe a Nexus versus a command center first.
This is going to be fun. Nexus first versus command center first.
Yeah, yeah. Where do you want to go from there?
How do you play this as Terran?
Well, for command center, I couldn't tell you because I don't play tournaments anymore. And if you do this on the ladder, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
The Zealot's going to appear in your main base.
I've done plenty of Nexus first, but I don't know what. I mean, against CC first, I think I would just start to try to.
Well, I think that what it comes down to is can you get lots of vultures on the map immediately as Terran?
Yeah, I mean,
Because I think as Protoss, if you scout what's going on quickly enough, you're just going to rally Dragoons and try to keep them contained, put some pressure on siege tanks.
I guess the tanks are late, right? I mean, the tanks are always coming out after Dragoons are already in the game.
Yep.
And so now there's going to be even more Dragoons out before tanks are even in the game as well?
Yeah, no, there's going to be a lot of Dragoons. If you can force them to go siege mode as opposed to a Vulture opener, that's strong. But you got to be careful about that because Terrans will mix in with a build like this, a fast starport. Like, go siege tank, siege mode, just one, into, like, drop in Vultures. Stuff like that can happen.
So this depot here
Manor depot.
is made so because the probes can't efficiently mine from this expansion. And so it's a very smart move.
You're going to want to send a Zealot up or a Dragoon up or something, which is going to make it easier for Ample to defend at home as well.
So Mini's reaction to this is to only send 2 probes, and he'll just keep making probes in that location.
Yeah. Mini now sees what he's up against at Command Center first.
Here's the thing I'm worried about is that Mini is so good at the early to mid-game PvT that he's going to have something up his sleeve. Even if he didn't have something before the game started, he's going to look up his sleeve. There's going to be something there.
Well, I really think it's going to be a rally of Dragoons for a bit. And it's a good choice.
But then you could maybe go into Robo. Do you go straight into, like, Carrier? I mean, how does that work? Because there's all sorts of weird pacing with the tech, right?
Yeah, that's hard to say.
So it's like, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I would feel like there's...
But maybe you're right.
Yeah. And that's the way you got to live your life, is by that motto.
Yeah. Totally.
Sorry, guys. This is such an unnatural set of builds to be interacting with each other that this is going to be more of an exploratory cast than anything else.
Yeah, now, does Ample go for second factory? Well, you can probably do second factory and starport, to be honest. Because this is command center versus not even gasless expand. You know, the ultimate in getting your economy really, really big, really, really
Bug Dragoon. You toe on the top of his head just stays open.
Marines do the same thing, too.
Yeah.
If you click to attack a retreating worker and it attacks at the end of its range, it then freezes.
It's one of the reasons why you have to master this whole technique on moving units. I'm actually surprised that many let the thing get bugged, because getting rid of that SCV is huge. Because that's the only SCV that's on the map right now.
Yeah.
So the Zealot's up here.
Yeah, he's checking out what's going on. He sees that little wall. It's kind of a nice little wall. I can see myself settling down behind that wall. Yeah.
Start a family behind that wall.
I have the family. I have that fully spotted. I just need the little wall. But okay, so where is Mini going from here? Just goons being made at the moment. Does he put the pressure on?
He might even go for Reaver right into this as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility.
Reaver's always been popular in modern StarCraft Brood War. Gosh, what a funny game.
Well, Ample looks like he's going for a longer game here. He is getting his upgrades and his academy and all that good stuff.
By the way, I think the opening here from Ample is really smart, because this allows him to just focus on his base instead of his opponent for the start. I think
damn, that's long range.
Yep.
You have to deal with that every game against Terran?
Sometimes they hit you before you've ever seen them, and there's 6 of them there, and you lose your whole army.
What?
It's crazy.
Doesn't seem fair.
Nothing in Brood War does to Artosis. Yeah. That's the weird thing about the whole game, is everything seems so broken and stupid.
Yeah.
We'll never probably be given a game like this.
No.
Because it's... people complain too much online when new games come out, but if there ever is a game like this made again, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Because everything
no one would play it, though.
Yeah, that's possible as well. Well, you never know, actually. Sometimes hardcore people come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Dark Souls phenomenon. People were trying to stop those
so
games
easy compared to this game.
Yeah, it's much
easier.
easier.
Is actually
it's
just
true.
It's like laying down in a bed compared to riding a motorcycle up a tightrope while sharks are trying to get you. Okay? Very, very different games.
So it is going to be the quick carrier play.
Good call there. The Reaver into carrier makes a lot of sense. It's going to force you to turtle because there's so much surface area the shell can come in, and then it also slows the push. That's a 2-for-1 right there.
And so the Reaver's going to come out. The Reaver forces, at the bare minimum, it forces turrets or defense from the Terran. And then what you try to do is just carrier up enough to where you have this really balanced army. For the really old school people that are watching, carriers are used in a bit of a different fashion. It used to be that you just try to mass up a lot. Look at this. Now we can body block the Reaver. So you used to mass up tons and tons of carriers and kind of overwhelm them. And I'm talking like old StarCraft 1. But now you have a modest amount of carriers, and you try to throw off balance the Terran ground army. Because they have to have the right number of units on the ground and the right number of units to fight air. And so if you kill all the tanks, and the ground army wins. If you kill all the Goliaths, and the air army wins. And so you're kind of, as the battle unfolds, you basically look for which kind of engage you want to have, take it from there. And of course, while that's all going on, in this situation specifically, you make sure that Terran can't get a third base.
Yeah.
And Terran really do need to get a third base pretty quickly.
It looks like he's building his third command center right now. That's what on the mini-map, at least, it does look that way. you know, the thing is he got his armory right away. So when you do that, you're actually, as long as you're not losing tanks like you mentioned before and like we saw previously, you're in pretty good shape. You know, if you're just not losing them, like he's going to take a third base that has a third gas. Wow, he scans the carriers. That's really good for Ample. Like, I look at this game, this is a very doable game. Like, there's a lot of play on both sides. It's not like either side is hard countering the other and it's going to be an impossible, ridiculous game. But this is kind of the build that you want against that, because you're going to have the 2-1 out very, very quickly. You're going to have 3 bases more quickly than the Protoss likely. And your macro is really going to find its stride.
The other question we got to ask ourselves is, with the Shuttle and the Reaver, will he get any good engages? Because, you know, sometimes a Reaver will just hit the right chunks of units.
Well, when you're playing like this and you've scanned what you've scanned and you've seen the Reaver, I think you're not moving out until 2-1. And then when you move out, it's... the Reavers are going to have a hard time. Like, they'll slow it just a little bit, but you will be able to pick it off. You know, you're going to have a lot of Goliaths already, so you can just kind of walk forward and kill it, the Shuttle.
Oh!
Oh.
That's actually pretty bad.
Yeah,
for Ample just to lose that much. It's a good idea, though, to try to come in there, especially when the Dragoon count is sparse, and it always is if they went into Reaver into Carrier. Like, every single Dragoon is incredibly important. By the way, Protoss will probably not attack the third until there's 4 carriers out, but he may take these 2 that we see right here and fly it over the natural and then drop the Reaver.
Yeah, that's a really good play.
Yeah.
The interceptors take all the shots, so the Reaver can get out very, very easily. Okay, so the third base up in mining. Look at that. Instantly gets the third gas as well. So this is like the economy that you need from Ample. Now all he needs to do is add all of his factories.
Now, in this moment, besides obviously threatening SCVs, what you can also do is draw in some of these Goliaths and try to fight them there. Because even though the carriers are countered by the Goliaths, with the surface area abuse here, as well as the Scarab shots.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Beautiful Scarab shot right there. Another nice one going down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he's going to be able to get out with this. The Goliaths should not kill the carriers at all.
No.
Now, he lost the Reaver, so less than ideal, I guess. But
was still very good.
Yeah, he took out a few Goliaths, and it's one of those moments. Again, it's the balancing act. Can Terran fight both air and ground? Because if they can't fight both, they will lose the fight overall. Protoss wins one fight and then wins the other. And so we have now, I think the 4th carrier is about to spawn here. And so, there it is. And so he's got to make some more interceptors. And 4 is a much scarier number than 2, to be honest.
Yeah, 2 is not really, you don't do that much, but 4 is where it gets very scary indeed. Now, this, like right now, if the armies fight heads up,
so sick.
We should see Ample be able to win that, right? So these little harassments that Mini is doing is very important.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind, he doesn't have a lot of vultures, so there's not much to come back here and fight those zealots.
No.
So even the zealots alone are pretty problematic. Now, Terran's beginning that push.
Yeah, a lot of Goliaths here. The siege tank, siege up, no legs yet for the zealots, which is very, very important. Yeah, where's the rest of his army?
Well, where are the rest of his Goliaths, Artosis?
Yeah, where's the rest of everything?
There was...
he has a huge rally point, so many units left.
I see it now. He's moving it now.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, Ample just is having a...
He's having a bit of a hard time.
Very bad day here.
Yeah.
And that actually may be enough for Mini to carry this game to its logical conclusion here.
He did clear out almost the entire ground army. How many gates are there? 4? Are there more? Are there 6?
Yeah.
Okay, 6 is pretty good. How many factories are there? That's another important thing to look at. Like, if he has like 8 facts right now, this is, yeah, look at that, man.
Oh, look at this.
Damn.
Takes out, almost gets the third carrier there. Forgot what they're called. What are they called?
Third,
what do you call
blimp thing, the blimpy thing.
What's my grandson's name?
The Tempest, Battlecruiser, carrier.
Carrier. So, I like the shield battery there.
That's cool.
So he's actually halted carrier production. And he actually just wants to win with a straight-up ground fight. Is this the best way to play? I'm not totally sure.
If Ample takes it slow, I don't know.
So that's what I'm thinking, Artosis.
And the thing is,
he's overmaking Goliaths, though.
That is true. This is something that can happen where you don't catch on that the Protoss stops carrier production. Let's see. I don't know that he 100% stopped, though. Like, he had stopped right then when we looked. But sometimes you'll be like, oh, okay, I need another round of units right now. And then you'll start carriers again later. But certainly if you overmake the Goliaths do not fight well against Dragoons, against anything on the ground, basically. They really are an anti-air unit.
They're basically just terrible against the ground.
Yeah.
If Protoss didn't have air units, you would never see Goliaths.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, Goliaths were actually buffed in Brood War to be the anti-air unit.
Yes, because there was no way to range up and kill this stuff.
Well, once Corsairs came out as well, it was you couldn't just go for wraiths and try to fight carriers in certain circumstances. So then they needed to have something that could take on the air. Now we have the fight happening once more.
Yeah, siege up these tanks. He doesn't have many tanks right now. Drops out those Reavers. Let's see what type of hits he gets.
Oh, he's won this fight for sure.
Yeah.
Even without the Reaver hits, I think he basically just wins this. There's only one tank, and that's actually in the front.
Yeah, a little bit of a sloppy push there, and not enough siege tanks for sure. That switch into just gateway units for a little bit really paid off, and it seems like Ample didn't really realize what was going on because he had like almost 2 full groups of Goliaths. You know, if you have like 3 more tanks in that army, that's going to go much better for you. Okay, kind of a cramped position that Mini's trying to attack into.
Okay, he's coming now. I think we're going to see the Terran get toppled here. This is also a funny moment where even though Terran is usually pretty safe in their main, if Protoss can get back up onto the high ground, it's really hard to funnel your units outside of your main here to protect your third base.
He's trying to target down some of these carriers. Looks like he might kill another one. So this game, there's a possibility it goes on if he gets a couple tanks out and gets some good mines. But, like, Mini is so far ahead right now. Oh, my God. He's even going to get the command center. Oh.
Yeah, I think Ample's basically gone. Keeping a Terran on, too. But, you know, the third base in the later part of the game is so important. In other matchup spaces can come and go. When you're this late in the game, first of all, if you lost the third base, it means you lost probably all the other key features that were keeping you alive as well, right? Yeah. Like a healthy tank count, a balanced army, probably a presence on the map, controlling the Protoss. God, he really cut probes this game, by the way, Mini did. Mini's playing one of the tightest PVTs you could ever ask for.
Well, he's got his 4 bases now and everything. He played it well.
It worked, though. You know what? He boxed Terran in. So this little trick, he's going to have these interceptors come out and attack just because the first time a carrier attacks, the interceptors come out one by one. After they've all gone back in, they will come out all at once.
Okay, going to move up and continue his harassment here. Just adding on a couple more carriers. Looks like he does lose that one that was so low for so long. Look at that, 3-2 upgrades. If only he hadn't lost that third base, there would still be some real potential here. Because I think the gateway units are on, like, maybe 1-0. And at that point, 3-2 is really good.
Yeah. Yeah, you are correct, Artosis. And +2 attack, by the way, for the carriers.
+2, yeah. Well, he doesn't have too many carriers, and they are starting to fall against these 3-2 upgrades. Gets another one. Wow, that's a lot of Dragoons.
Okay, I think we might see GG now. I think with this last tank over here in the upper right being shot down, and probably the other one behind the bunker gets taken out as well. I mean, that's it, man.
Oh, can Mini, like, see that, just, like, I don't even know what to say. It's
what?
The situation, like, everyone's been here as Terran, where you have these fantastic upgrades. The Protoss army, look, he's on 1-0 as expected, right? The Protoss has skimped on a lot of things, and you're just like, God, if I just had one army right now, you know, your upgrades would be amazing. They would really kick in and help you out. But in this situation, Mini just keeps running in, and it's the right play. This is what he needs to do for his victory, and it looks like he's going to get it.
Okay, shuttle goes down. I feel like we're watching this guy die over and over again, but yeah, I mean, what Artosis said couldn't be truer. GG, you know, when you're in a game, you got to hang on. Sometimes people overextend, but against Mini, he just crushes through.
Yeah, the 3-0. I wasn't expecting a 3-0. I'm not surprised that Mini won. But Ample played a very good tournament up to now. I feel like he stumbled a little bit tonight, but he was against a killer. What can you expect in your first big showing?
I look forward to more Ample games down the road. Look, I think he's an awesome player, but he clearly is out of his element here in major matches like this. And you didn't see that so much in Game 3, but you did see it in Game 1 and 2. There were too many things that went wrong. You know how like a plane crash, usually it's like 7 consecutive errors in a row to actually make, planes don't just fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
Pro gamers don't just lose games like that. Similar situation, we had 6 or 7 major glaring errors, whether it was control or strategic thinking, even some basic decision making. In Game 1 and 2 especially, he made enough of those errors that the game completely spiraled into a loss.
Yeah, and it seems like he had a couple premature attacks in Game 3. He actually did a very good strategy and was getting himself into a very strong spot there against Mini, but Mini played very well, didn't let up, and all it took was Ample attacking a couple times and overextending that army where, you know, I feel like both the battles, if he waits 1 or 2 more rounds, he might crush the army of Mini with those types of upgrades.
Yeah, I think so. Really good technique by Mini. Again, that game started out with, Game 3 started out with TT first versus Nexus first, which is crazy. You don't really get to watch a lot of games like that at this level of play, but I thought Mini handled it perfectly.